What's up, guys? Today we're gonna go do some interviews to see what the community thinks about social media and educational writing. Alright, catch y'all later. So right now we're gonna drive to a random neighborhood. We're gonna hit up some random spots to do the interview. So some of the questions I'm gonna ask is what makes a good social media post, like writing wise? You know, what factors you see in a good social media post? Then the second question is gonna be, what makes a good educational article, like writing wise? You know, maybe they're too long or different factors like that. And then we're gonna ask the specific flaws in each one to see if we can come up with a final theory. Alright, catch y'all later. Alright guys, so now I'm here at the location. Now we're gonna go find some people to interview. Come on. Oh look, there's one guy. Let's go interview. Alright sir, so say your name and what's your favorite social media platform?
My name is Joseph Oakley and I prefer Twitter.
Alright, so here comes a question. What does good social media writing look like to you?
To me, it would be clear and to the point with correct grammar, which you don't find very often these days.
That is true.
A good example would be, I think most politicians, I would say the majority of educated people would have proper grammar in their posts, but then not everyone cares about that.
So you think straight and good grammar is like foundations to a good social media post?
Yes, I mean you don't want to seem like a know-it-all, but you have to.
But you want to seem smart, right?
Mm-hmm. You don't want to sound dumb.
Another person to interview. Can you say your name and your favorite social media platform?
Martinez and Instagram.
Alright, so when you think of a good social media post, what do you think of? What are some factors you factor in it?
I guess something that catches your attention, has a good hook, and it makes you want to keep on reading.
Sort of like a rhetorical question at the beginning of the post?
Yeah.
Alright, so now we got the good stuff out of the way. So what are some things social media writing could improve on?
Definitely grammar and spelling. And I think the respect people have for each other, especially on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because we need to respect each other as individuals and human beings and not go at it so much.
3, 2, 1. Alright, so now what are some things, social media could improve on when it comes to writing?
In social media posts, sometimes there's a lack of background info, so that leads to not being able to understand the posts.
Good answer. So what does good education writing look like to you? Essays, research papers, books and stuff like that.
Again, clear and to the point without using too many words. And that's what I like about Twitter, is they have a limit how many characters you can use. But I've found that some educational writings, it's like someone was speaking to a recorder and then they typed that out, so you can read 30 pages to understand something they could have explained in 20 or maybe fewer. So I think they should have a good understanding of it and try to make it as concise as possible.
What do you think makes a good writing piece, educational writing piece?
Well, in educational writing, there's always credibility, because it has to be reviewed by
He's going to tell an example of good educational writing.
Right. So I love to use Encyclopedia Britannica whenever I'm writing a paper. So because they're very concise and very factual. So I looked up chemical bonding, because I know you can't really say a whole lot about that. And let me give you a sample sentence. It says, quote, as a general rule, covalent bonds are formed between elements lying towards the right in the periodic table. Example, the nonmetals. The molecules of identical atoms, such as hydrogen and Buckminster fullerene, are also held together by covalent bonds. End quote. So there, they came to the point very quickly.
They didn't go,
Yeah, they didn't take any rabbit trails, which I really appreciate in something like this. And it was fact, not opinion.
Alright, thank you, sir.
Good day, mate.
Alright, so what are some flaws in educational writing?
Sometimes, there's like so many words packed into the page, so it gets kind of overwhelming. You can't really like take it in.
Yeah, sometimes you lose the meaning. I'm gonna show you a post and you tell me what you think of it. So, what do you think of this post?
I like it because it has a hook. It starts off with a question and gets me interested in it and makes me want to read it all the way to the end.
Alright, so now I'm gonna show you a social media post and you can tell me if you think it needs to work or it's perfectly fine. Alright. So what do you think of this post?
It needs to work.
Do you think it's too broad, that like a random person won't be able to understand?
Yeah.
Alright. So my final theory, I came up with social media can, in fact, learn from educational writing and vice versa. So in educational writing, you usually have, a lot of writing and sometimes you get overwhelmed. So what it can learn from social media is maybe having a strong intro, a strong hook, so it can get the reader engaged and will want you to keep reading the content. Awesome. And what social media can learn from educational reading is being credible, Usually when you find something on social media, you don't really know if you can believe it or not. So maybe if there can be a way where it can be peer reviewed by someone to create more credibility in social media. And that is my final theory. If social media can in fact learn from educational writing and vice versa. When coming up with this theory was like Elizabeth Buck stated in her exigence on social media essay, it is really important to understand the exigence, which is the reasoning behind the post. So it is important to understand the reasoning behind the post to fully comprehend what the person posting the post is trying to get. Alright, so another article that helped me to get to my final theory was it's called Only Other People Post Most Food Photos on Facebook, Third Person Perception of Social Media Behaviors and Effects. And I found this is my my primary source article, and the article I found explained that there was a research done through Facebook to see how different people reacted to certain social media posts, which is it reflects on the exigence. So when you post something, you want to know how people are going to react to it. So the idea was that this article was something that it makes you really think when you post something, how's it going to be perceived by other people, which affects the final theory that sometimes you have to be credible to be able to post certain things.